Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome to another episode of Planetbase. Just want to apologize ahead of time if my voice is a little wonky. My throat's been hurting. Had a stream today. I'm not sick, just kind of have a sore throat. So I apologize for that if it impacts the commentary at all. This isn't very much money, so I'm gonna try for a driller. I'm gonna have to spend if I want to get... well, maybe not. Two is fine, I think. And then just cut back money. Yeah, that's fine, right? I don't really like trading away medical supplies, but it's fine. It's fine. Plus we got this guy coming up shortly. Why does it, it looks like it's already built, but it's clearly not. That's very strange. I've been spending a lot of time in space lately. That's kind of where my mind's been too. I don't write. I should write. I should just shut up and write. I hate when I write dialogue, but I think about stories a lot. I think about like, oh, this would be cool. It could be cool to, like, recently I've been thinking about how amazing would it be if you had a game that was kind of like, even single player, Star Citizen kind of, but less focused on space, like flying and combat, and maybe a little bit more focused on what if you had like The Witcher, but it was based in a universe that consisted of space stations, colonies on asteroids, colonies on planets, just normal planets, and you'd travel, like kind of Mass Effect, but not made by BioWare, because personally I kind of hate BioWare. I don't feel like Mass Effect was anywhere near as good as it got credit for being. Personal opinion. In my defense, if you disagree with me, I lived with a guy who literally thought that the Mass Effect series were the best games ever made, and that's just wrong. I don't care what your opinion is about the game. That's not factually. That's not true. It's not. There's a ton of games, ton of series that are better. The Witcher, I've already named one in this conversation, that are better than Mass Effect. And you can say, okay, Mass Effect 1 and 2 were janky, but you could say The Witcher 1 and 2 were janky. So was Mass Effect. So, I don't know. Personal opinion, you can disagree with me if you really want, but that one I feel relatively strongly about. And I just wish, like, a little bit more freeform. That's a colonist ship. You still only bring 2 if you land with a colonist ship here? That's kind of strange. I do think we need the colonists because I'm starting to see some wrench icons here, and that's not a good sign. We don't want to go down that road again. It doesn't look like that's going to be a problem right now, but we still want to kind of keep our eyes on it. Just be cautious, you know? No need to get in over our head here. Still want some more guards, but we're alright. And I'm going to build that stupid pyramid thing. Oh good, it takes mostly bioplastic. You guys can see it as you come into land. Spend your money here for no reason. I think that's it, right? Or monolith would be the next one. We'll get to a monolith at the very least. Colonist ship again, really. But yeah, it'd be really cool if you like. So there's this series that I really like. It's X3. I've brought it up before. It's kind of like it's not really a space sim, but it's kind of like a space sim. So you're in this world. There's like 5 races: human, Argon, or Argonian. I think it's Argonian, and then Argon is like their capital system or something. Paranid, which are like religious a-holes. And I'm not saying that religious people are a-holes. I'm saying Paranids are a-holes who are also religious. The Split, which are like warfaring guys. Talati, which are like all about coin, basically. They're all about making money. Some of them honestly, some of them dishonestly. And then Boron, which they're kind of like... They're boring. They're like squid, kind of, almost. They're the aquatic species, and they're not really pacifist necessarily, but they are kind of like passive. They're not like emphasized on fighting. And they don't really emphasize any particular thing. I guess maybe science, but I don't think so. And they God, what was it? They're like buddies with the Argons, and the Argons are like humans that were separated from Earth, so that they have evolved separately slightly. They're still kind of human, but they're not really. If that makes... I don't know, that probably makes no sense. Let's get some more bees. Pop that. There. Colonists? Colonist. I gotta keep an eye on this, probably. That was another colony. Oh no, it's a trading ship, okay. Yeah, all money here. So what I always did was I would... If you do dirty things to one group, the other groups wouldn't necessarily hate you for it. Like the Paranids and the Splits, or the Split, were kind of like together-ish, I think, and the Borons and the Argonians were kind of together. And then Taladi, I think, were sort of in between, maybe? I don't totally remember. Or the Split and Paranid might have been on their own. I don't remember. I just remember I think that Boron and Argonian were kind of together. And I thought the other ones were true too, but I could be wrong. But anyway, so what I would do is like, oh, Paranids are dicks. So I'd just basically attack their ships all the time and try to force the pilot to eject. And whether it was a freighter or a fighter, anything that I could attack and survive against. Okay, that's inevitable. I don't think we lost it. Okay, now we lost someone. We lost the guard, because there were 3 of these jerks. So that's, yeah, that's not surprising. But yeah. So I'd like try to hijack their ships, and then I'd sell their cargo and sell their ship. And what you could do is you could get freighters and, you know, kit them up with whatever you want, like more storage, and make them... Oh, there's another one. That's bad. Who's... No one's gonna kill this a-hole? Where are guards? Where the hell did our guards go? I think we killed them? The hell was that, though? We lost like 4 people. Well, that's stupid. No, I guess we definitely want colonists now. Yeah. So yeah, I'd always... But you could do so much more. Like, you could be a merchant, you could be a pirate, you could be a merchant pirate, you could be a combination of anything, you could have your own corporation, you could do quests, you could fight in wars, you could do so... Like, you could destroy pirate, you could be anti-pirate. You could be an anti-pirate pirate and take out, like, the evil whatever. Yeah, there's so much crap you could do and be different. Like, I'd really love... But you couldn't go on a planet, and you couldn't go, like, inside a space... You couldn't, like, get off your thing and walk around the space station. Which I always missed, I guess. I wish they had that in there. So if you made, like, a game that was... that had all that... I think it'd be really cool. Done properly, it would be amazing. And I want to play that game. It doesn't exist. But I want to play it. So yeah, I've been thinking about stuff like that, and like, that's obviously a project that I'll probably never be able to do, because that's way too intensive and like difficult to develop. Like, that's not a small project, that's like a AAA project. That's not an indie project, if you know what I mean. Maybe through the power of Kickstarter, but I don't know if the market can sustain Star Citizen in that project at the same time. That seems like maybe you just say, okay, well, if you want that, go for Star Citizen, even though that's not really what Star Citizen is, in my opinion. Star Citizen is much more focused on combat. And I'm not really into it. The monetization schemes they have are just ridiculous. I don't want to be a part of that. It's too insane. Okay, so that's big. We got the larger collector. So we get to play with that. I might get rid of this, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. I think what we want to do is build another one of these right here. Come on, you can fit there. Are you kidding me? Oh, there it is. That's like surprisingly far back. But yeah, so I've been really craving like going back and playing X3, probably Terran Conflict, because that was like the last X3 game. After that they went to X Rebirth, which I think was bad, but I think it was like updated to be more like X3 eventually. I don't know what they did. It's Egosoft made it. It's actually a German company, which is kind of cool. I always liked them, but it's like single player Eve. So it takes, you know, it takes a lot of time. It's definitely my kind of game, but it's time consuming, and in case I haven't talked about this recently enough, I don't have a lot of free time on my hands, so it hasn't really been there. But I have been playing Deep Rock? What's it called? I streamed it. I should know the name of the fucking game. Like, yeah, Deep Rock Galactic. And that's like Left 4 Dead combined with Minecraft, kind of. And it's like a procedural thing where you go through like a cave system that's procedurally generated, and you try to... Well, the starting missions are you go mine. You go, like... mine a thing. Oh, I just got invited to play it with someone. Sorry, I'm recording right now. Also, it's... What time is it? Why is it not showing on my laptop? It's like 1 AM. Yeah, I can't do that right now. I'd love to, believe me. I was just thinking of like, do I have time to play that after I finish recording here? No, I do not. I don't think this makes sense to do. I think you just go for the money, especially on one that has such low cargo. Oh wow, it's got big capacity too. I'm just short. That's hilarious. That will almost do it. One more. Two more. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about space and stuff. I should like just try writing. You know, it's one of those things. I want to get into game development. Part of that is writing. I basically want to do everything but the art, because I'm not an artist, but I can totally draw, or not draw, I can absolutely come up with stories and stuff, no problem. So I should, you know, it's one of those things where they say the first million words you write are going to be trash or whatever, but you have to write them. It's not like you can just be like, oh, well, they're going to be trash, why should I write them? Well, you write them so that you can get to the second million words. That's obviously how that works, but I should start doing that in my free time. Just work at it periodically. My dad is actually... There's two... God, actually, for once, I have a lot of things I want to talk about. That kind of touches on another thing, which is that my dad is probably going to be retiring. He was just taking, like, you know, if you retire, you want to systematically look at your financial information and make sure that you have what you need in order to do that. Like, that's a big decision. So he was working on that today, and we spoke about it briefly, and it's in my best interest for him to continue working as long as possible, obviously, and I joke about that with him sometimes, because, you know, I was like, oh, just, yeah, work yourself to death and then leave me all the money. I'll take all the money. Obviously, sarcastically. But I was telling him, like, look, he worked really hard, or did he work really hard? I don't know. He worked well. I don't know if he worked hard, but he did a damn good job of getting the right job. He works sales at, like, tech companies and stuff. So, you know, he does serious, like, real shit. And I've got some stories there that would be basically doxing myself, but one day I'll tell them, and they're damn good stories that I kind of steal from him. But he made good money. Like, he did well for himself. A lot of my quality of life comes from work that he did, basically. And I'm intelligent and I can make my own way in life. I have no doubt about that. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm going to inherit $1 billion and I'm going to do whatever I want. No, it's not like that. I'm not probably going to inherit too much, and that's fine. I don't really care. I need to be self-sufficient. I don't want my success to come from anyone but me. So anyway, I was basically telling him, like, look, man, you've worked your ass off. You think he's like 60. So he's lucky he can retire at that age, and, you know, you can kind of imagine he's done well enough to kind of be able to do that. I basically said, like, look, you've kind of won at life. You've succeeded. Like, I keep asking him, like, what do you want out of life at this point? What do you want to do? Because he can kind of, like, if he wanted to just live on a cruise ship for a while, he could do that. But he's not that kind of guy. He's sort of like me a little bit, or I guess it's more that I'm like him, in that I don't want to define myself by my work, but working is kind of what I do. I solve problems. I say this about my work, is if I like solving puzzles, and the work that I do in production planning, which is a manufacturing thing, a lot of it can be considered kind of solving puzzles, and I'm always thinking about it in those terms. I like that. I want to have a problem, and I want to solve it. I think logically, and I want to work through that process. That's what I enjoy. That's what I like in life. I don't want to go travel in Europe for 2 months. That's not fun to me. That's not enjoyable to me. It's not even like person-to-person interaction doesn't necessarily do it for me either. I want to do a thing and be good at it, and understand it, and solve problems and puzzles. Why does this take semiconductors? It's so dumb. Whatever. I kind of get it, though. It's like, that's the expensive resource, so it's fine. So that's me. And I think he's similar in a way, because I think he likes working. I don't think he necessarily derives value for himself through working. It's not that. But, I mean, he's not talking about retiring and just kicking back. I mean, he's saying, and this is why I brought it up, he wants to write. And he's like, well, he asked me, like, do you think I could just write? And I said, well, not if you plan to make money off of it. Which I want to go back and talk to him about that and change what I said, because I didn't want to discourage him from doing that. My grandfather's published a few books. My dad has a translation of a French play, which I actually edited, which was really fun. And then he has done, because my family on that side is Quebecois, so they're mostly French-speaking. Even my grandparents were not particularly great with English. They were mainly French speakers. Living in San Diego, hilariously. But he's translated a lot of their writing, whether it was my grandfather's or even before him. That whole side of the family writes, and I fucking love that. I love that that's a part of my ancestry. And it's something that I want to embrace one day. And I think my dad wants to embrace it now, and I should probably have been more encouraging when he asked about it earlier today, but... that's the kind of thing what he wants to do when he retires, and I should probably do the same thing, to be honest. I do think I'm reasonably skilled with English. Not necessarily with writing. Like I said, I can't do dialogue. I don't know why, and it's in my head at this point, and I've tried. I can't quite do it, so I just gotta force myself to suck it up and work through it, but, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole interesting topic. I actually really I hope people watch this, because I think that's an interesting thing that could spark some conversation. And be something that, you know, gets I guess gets people thinking. Is that what I want? I want you guys to think about something. I don't know. I mean, really, I want to entertain you, but also, like, if my form of entertainment typically comes more from, like, hey, this concept is cool, right? This thing is cool. Not so much, hey, the funny joke. I'm not really the funny joke kind of guy. I can make funny jokes, but it's usually only... I can't do it solo. I gotta do it with... Like, I can have a good rapport with someone, but... I gotta have that person. Alright. It's a big ship. Okay. That actually saves me a lot of money. I like these big ships. Boom. That's really cheap. We're not spending that much cash on this. Do I want to blow it on a drill bot? Probably not, right? I don't need it. That's a good trade. That worked out quite well for us. I'm happy about that. Anyway, the second thing I was going to bring up was just that I'm probably going to get a barbecue that's like actually mine for the first time in my life, and I love I don't know if I talked about this in another video, but like I can't chicken that's cooked anything on anything but a barbecue, or I guess most of the time when you rent, you get an electric stove. It's not a like gas stove that actually has fire. Cooking with fire is objectively superior in my book. So the barbecue I'm getting isn't charcoal, it's propane, but it doesn't matter because the whole point is I'm basically just getting like a surrogate fire-based stove, and that's all I want. For whatever reason, chicken cooked on a fire, by which I mean like a gas stove or anything like that, is superior to baked or cooked on an electric stove, and I can't tell you why, it just is. So I'm really looking forward to being able to barbecue that. And I can cook bacon without having to worry about the grease too, so that's nice. Lots of stuff like that where, I mean, you do have to worry about the grease, but not, like, it's not in a pan sitting in the kitchen. Obviously, I'm not going to put the grease down the frickin' drain. That would be terrible. I don't hate my landlord. I actually like them quite a bit. I have awesome landlords. They're excellent people who have never ever complained about my recording YouTube videos at 1 AM on a weeknight, so I appreciate them. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like this has been a particularly good one. I like these kind of topics, so feel free to leave a comment and talk about any of it if you like writing or any of that. I'm not going to dox myself by sharing any of his work yet, but that is probably something that's going to happen whether I like it or not in the future, so we'll have stories to tell later. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us for the next one as well, and I will see you next time. Take care.